Come on, Bill, follow the light.
I swear to God.
Follow the light.
All right. Maybe we'll just get going, and Trustee Brennan can join us when he comes in. Go for it.
We produced this beautiful booklet, and the superintendent loved it and has requested that I bring some folks together today to talk very briefly about some of the work that we're doing. I have the absolute pleasure of working with an amazing team of district learning teachers and coordinators and a couple of vice principals. You know, I might have a notion or an idea or a vision even, if I'm lucky enough, but it's really most of these guys over here that actually kind of put it into action. And so I thought what we'd like to do is just give you a brief overview of some of the ways that we're supporting the system. They all have a whole bunch of stuff they do in their portfolios, but particularly with regards to our district collaborative learning opportunities. These are our Thursday after school sessions that these folks provide capacity building with our educators. I'd like each of them just to give us a brief synopsis of what some of those learning opportunities look like. And I will pass the microphone over to Linda Baldwin, who is our Inquiry and Innovation Coordinator for the district. And she's going to, yes, a right-hand woman.
Thank you. Thank you for having us tonight. So this is our collaborative learning opportunities booklet that we put together, and it's really a collective effort on behalf of all the coordinators. And the goal of it was to provide opportunities for our teachers around the district to network with colleagues after school and network with colleagues across the district, and really engage in that professional dialogue and inquiry on a variety of topics. And so we know that there's lots of different opportunities out there within our schools, learning happening in our schools that's amazing, both within the district and people going outside of the district. But this is an opportunity, especially for those within a smaller school environment, that can connect with teachers of the same grade level and same interest levels and sort of extend those learning opportunities that are already existing. So we know that the importance of professional learning, and that continuous professional learning is so important, and it's the key to effective instruction. And we know that it's instruction that is making the biggest impact on our learners and moving learning forward. And so we also know that there's a huge body of research out there about effective professional learning, and we're learning more and more about that every day. And so we really see these learning opportunities as an extension of what we're already doing within the schools and our PLCs and our coaching models that we have. And so it's really fostering that collaborative culture that we're trying to build, and that learning culture that we heard so much about and examples of throughout our system. So these are really, we've put together these opportunities. There's a couple things that I wanted to sort of share before we go into specific opportunities, because they're important to know. And really they've evolved from these are our coordinators, even better. And our coordinators range from full-time to 1 day a week. So the learning opportunities are a huge way for us to contribute back to the system, connect with colleagues, but also embed our work that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So we have our 4 areas of our learning framework, and as this booklet was being put together, this is a huge piece for us to sort of align all the different initiatives that are happening across the system. And we know that when we are trying to continuously improve instruction, that this alignment is super important. All the way from our district vision to the work that we're doing in schools. And these are our 4 areas of our learning framework. And so the work that when we put these learning opportunities together, we looked at them in terms of how are we supporting these 4 areas of our learning framework. And there's so many different ways that we can do that. But truly, the opportunities that we've provided are informed by our scanning across the district and what the needs are of the teachers, the things that we know are being asked of us on a regular basis, and how can we contribute back in the most meaningful way. So curriculum and instruction, collaborative culture, assessment, reporting, and our inclusive schools. And these, obviously, these learning opportunities are aligned. The people that are attending them they're extending their work that they're already interested in and working in the PLCs. And so it's a huge piece. And a lot of the grant opportunities and the funding opportunities that are available through the network of inquiry and innovation that are being provided, and teachers are engaging in this work on a regular basis. We're also matching those grants at a district level. And we have our lead teachers, and we know that our partnerships with the NDTA and professional learning funds are also contributing, and there's lots of things. So teachers are engaging in these learnings with colleagues, but they're also tapping into all these different ways that they can find the most funds to support their learning. So each of the areas that we have, each of the series really that we have provided is anchored with this question of inquiry. And in true sort of fashion with collaborative inquiry, we, inquiry is anchored around student learning. So for us, when we use a question of inquiry for our professional learning, we're organizing our learning opportunities around that, but it enables teachers to really take it from wherever they are, and they can then go back to their schools, they can anchor it with their own practice, with their own students. It kind of gives that area of being able to explore. So these are not stand and deliver type sessions. These are truly collaborative conversations that are happening with colleagues, and we're really utilizing each other's expertise in that. And so the other piece that's really important to understand is that they've been organized in a series. So there's at least 3 sessions, sometimes more than that, where we've provided opportunities for teachers to come to a session, talk about something with colleagues, dialogue, ask questions, learn something new, go back to their schools and really live it. Try it, come back, debrief. So there's this opportunity in between each to be able to do that and connect back to their classrooms and the series. And truly, this piece is a really important one, that as coordinators, we're providing those opportunities as partners in this learning process, and everyone that's coming, we're providing the safe sort of environment to just feel safe and take risks and learn, and that there's no one expert. It's lots of questions being posed, lots of dialogue, and that's the piece, because these are after-school sessions. We're exhausted. Teachers are exhausted. They've been interacting with students and working really hard all day long. So a little bit of food, a little bit of some drinks, some warm coffee, and a safe spot to talk is a really important thing. So there's a number of different opportunities and sort of organized in these 4 areas. We've got almost, I think there's 20 different series. There were so many different things that we wanted to do that there wasn't enough Thursdays left in the year to do them. And just organizing this all was quite a feat, really. And I think my coordinator colleagues got sick of me saying, can you do it in this template, and can you have it by this date, and can it all look like this? But it worked out, and we've got this booklet that we can provide, and there's lots of other opportunities happening around as well. So that's and I'm gonna just talk, I think, very briefly and share. Under instruction and curriculum, I think, because of the day, there's this redesigned curriculum and all this assessment and reporting. So there's a huge emphasis on learning series and need to have teachers just dialogue about it. So this one here is a series that's been running for the last couple of years. We've done a summer series on it. I've done some work at VIU with it. This is a planning for deeper understandings, and this is based on a model which I won't go into, but it's truly looking at a unit of instruction and how do we design our instruction right from the onset so that we're thinking about how we're assessing it, how we're providing opportunities for this deeper understanding. Truly like around these big ideas and concept-based learning and how do we engage our students in that process. And then there's another one that I'm partnering with Loa Richardson and a couple of other ELL teachers, and this is just around engaging different instructional strategies. We found with the previous series that we needed to have the actual strategies from the learning plan, not just the planning piece and the assessment piece, but what do we do inside it to really get our students practicing, and how do we get them collaboratively practicing and having lots of opportunities to do so. So this was a session that we had, and it's fun to have everything from grade 2 to grade 12, literally having conversations about the same thing, so it was neat that way. This is another one that we're involved with, and last year we had a couple of teachers leading this series, and we found that there was a group that really had no foundation, and they wanted to have a very beginning learning series, so we've purchased some resources, and I'm going to be facilitating just a conversation supported with video series that we've purchased. And that's it. And I don't know who's next.
That's okay. We'll just come up one at a time. You'll give us a brief sort of overview of some of the sessions. Don't be shy, please.
We're gonna go in order this way, or?
Well, Jessica has a ferry to catch. I don't know.
Well,
It's too late, way too
I
late.
missed the ferry, but I'd like to get it over with.
Can you play with you? You okay?
No, it's okay. So I'm Jessica Doral. I'm a literacy coordinator, so I work between Fairview and Brechin, the two schools you heard from. So I have a series that I facilitate with Emily Baker, one of the school psychologists who also works between Brechin and Fairview. We work quite closely together, which has been fun. So our series is on literacy, deepening our understanding of literacy. So it's a literature circle is how we run it. So it's 6 sessions. So the first session, people came and just thought about, they reflected, we gave them a notebook, and they thought about their students and just how they wanted to grow as professionals, about their own practice and their students. And then based on that, they chose a book that they wanted. We book talked some books that we like, professional books. And so they chose a book, and that's what they're reading. So they read and they take notes, and then we all come together, and Emily and I as well. We're also reading and taking notes and reflecting on our students. And then we come together and just share our thoughts, and it's just a rich discussion, and yeah, and we've really enjoyed facilitating. I learn a lot, and we all learn from each other.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Behind Jessica is Amanda. Amanda is a brand new literacy coordinator. Justin? Oh, and whoever.
Okay, I'm Natalie Chelsom, and I'm a sexual health educator, and I work at the district coordinating some of the sexual health programs for schools. And I work with teachers, helping them build capacity and comfort so they can hopefully teach the curriculum. And in some cases, I'll model lessons for them and also work with students. So I'm working with Carlo. It's called SOGI, entry points into the curriculum. So working with sexual orientation and gender identity, working with teachers to help build their comfort and capacity, and introducing them to the SOGI procedure, which are the rights and the responsibilities of administrators, and how they treat students, making all students feel included in the classroom.
We actually just came from that session. So you've heard me here with Robin in the past talking about our inclusion policy and our sexual orientation and gender identity procedures and MCRR and all those things. And we've actually today used this opportunity to talk to a few more teachers about it. So we spent some time going through the procedure, which seems like this dry document that would sit on the shelf, but when it comes to some of the language that's in there and getting teachers to know about what the rights are of the students and helping them to become advocates for themselves, this was another opportunity, so we jumped at it. So that's what Natalie and I worked on. I'm also, as you may know, the Aboriginal Enhancement Coordinator for the other .8 of my job here at the district this year. And knowing what Linda said about how there's a lot coming at teachers this year, I kind of thought I need a carrot to get teachers there. And so I started my 6-part Indigenize Your Curriculum Culture as Pedagogy series with a drum making workshop. And I had more than 30 teachers sign up within a week. So it's been hard sometimes to get teachers to come out, but sometimes if you get a little bit creative and give them something really great to come out and do, they do, not surprisingly. And so that series is just recognizing that we're asking teachers to engage in all of this Aboriginal understandings work, and so many teachers have not had those opportunities for authentic engagement with our First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities. And so this is just trying to help some more teachers get some more of those opportunities. And so I'm hoping after the first one, it looks like it's going well, so we'll keep it going.
Hi, I'm Justin. I teach grade 4 at McGirr 2 days a week, so just so you know, I'm actually embedded in the classroom and I do district coordinator for assessment. My compatriot Marcy Boudreau teaches grade 1 at Uplands. She works with me the other 3 days. She can't be here tonight. She's actually with her class doing student-led conferences for grade 1. So she said, go ahead, don't talk too long. There you go. You may have noticed that assessment and reporting have changed significantly. So we saw right away there's a massive need to provide opportunities for teachers to look at ongoing communications of student learning. I mean, it's a completely different way of looking at reporting and communicating with parents. So we actually just completed our 3rd session tonight, which was looking at student voice and how to bring student voice out in the learning process. We've also talked to teachers about descriptive feedback and what are those important parts, not just good job. It's, you know, talking about the learning itself. That was for our elementary teachers. In the spring, we're planning on providing offering another series for secondary teachers to look at as well, because by then it will sort of filter its way through. I just wanted to Linda, as you heard, 20 different sessions or series going on. That's almost impossible to actually organize. I can't believe she actually pulled it off. I did want to give thanks to Chad from Wellington. He graciously offered up one of their new areas, new spaces, learning area, which was beautiful. And then we're also looking, because maybe the district needs to build one, we're going to use the Buzz Coffee House as well as a place to bring people together. Food and coffee seem to bring people out. But one of the amazing things is, I don't know in the past running a lot of these series if the attendance was as high as now. There's a huge need, and offering 20 and still getting massive amounts of people coming out is really encouraging. I think it's really well received and needed. Okay, thank you.
Well, I didn't think I was going to talk. I was just going to come and support. I'm Laura Harrison. I'm the core French resource teacher for the district. I teach point 8 at Dover Bay and point 2 for the district. And I just had one of my learning series today, right before I came here. And the first one was the curriculum and instruction focus with the effective use of games in the language classroom. And we had a great time. Again, having some refreshments is good, because at the end of the day, you need to kind of entice them. And we got to play games hands-on and talk a little bit about the rationale and how they fit with our redesigned curriculum in order to build fluency and get spontaneous interactions happening in our classroom, and really getting students to use the language, speaking it more than just reading and writing it. So we had a really good time, and looking forward to our next session, which will be more on assessment and how that fits with our redesigned curriculum and what some strategies and things we can do, and sharing and collaborating together. So that's kind of what's happening with the learning series for me.
Hi everyone. And I'm doing a couple sessions as well, and mine will build upon some of what Carlo's doing in his. And so I'm doing a session for K to 7 and another session for 8 to 12, and really looking at, you know, a belief that I have in terms of reconciliation, in that it's a system-wide commitment, but it's challenging when our own educational experiences haven't prepared us to comfortably embrace bringing Aboriginal knowledge and understandings into the classroom if that hasn't been our own experience as students and teachers in the system. So working with teachers to build their understandings and their confidence in having a safe place for those conversations to happen
Because what I hear when I'm going into schools and speaking at staff meetings or PLCs is there's a definite willingness and an openness to want to do this, but there's a lot of fear because people are very afraid of doing things wrong or being offensive. And in ABED, we want to support them so that they don't feel uncomfortable in making those big changes. So, thank you.
Thank you all for staying so long, so late.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. How lucky am I?
Yeah, pretty
Very
awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much. You've been teaching all day, then teaching all afternoon, and then here sharing this with us. This was really amazing. What a great way for us to wrap up our year. And so thank you so much.
I was just going to pick it up if there's no questions. Yeah. Thank you. I heard the word mama bear today, and I guess I'm a proud father bear here. I just wanted to mention to the group here that I think there was a dream around how we move forward in this district. And it's a sometimes very complicated dream. So I am going to take a moment around these pieces because we truly believe that teaching is one of the demonstrations of learning. And we also truly believe from our end, and I believe in conversations I have with teachers every day, the excellence is from within this system. This is how we're going to grow. And this is how we're going to learn. And we want people that want to be here. And you guys demonstrate that every day. We've gone through difficult times, and Department of Learning Services, and I'm just going to fill the board in a little bit, and those trustees that weren't here before, was one of all the departments that continued to have to cut and et cetera, and there were budgets around TTLC time for learning during the day and things like that, and those were some of the obvious places that we had to go to. So we had to do things and start to develop things and design things differently than we have in the past. And following the example of that and aligning and creating focus and alignment, just like we have in focus schools, of this focus of the four areas and alignment in that fashion and the work that you guys do. I want the board to note that most of these people here, these leaders here, are point twos around these initiatives. And the amount of time that they put in the communication and the goodwill that's out there is incredible because they're invested in this just like we are. What we have designed now, and where the proud bear comes out in me, is the fact that we're presenting these programs. They're fully attended. They're in different times of the day. We're able to spend our money on the leadership and the support to teach the people that we work with on a day-to-day basis and to work with those people within the budgets that we have, and to move forward when we were moving as far as the budget was concerned in a backwards motion. And that only speaks to the great people that we do have in the district, and in some of the terminology in sports terminology, the willingness to come to the plate and play. And I thank you. When I look and I counted up the number of you here from there, 3 years ago there weren't very many presenting. 5 years from now there will be 100, there will be more, and there will be a greater amount of instruction going on in the classrooms with the focus of the learner, and I really do appreciate you guys putting the time in. The alignment that has been created is going to give us the opportunity to move forward, and I truly do believe that. And the board has allowed us to, with the flexibility, to be able to do that. And in return, this is just great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks.
Thank you guys. Awesome. You guys, there's so much passion and so much good stuff happening. This is really great. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We are almost there.
I just realized that you guys are the driving force, and I didn't realize who you were, that I'm sensing this change in attitude and energy and joy, and I didn't realize that it's coming from your team, so
I
thank
think
you.
it's someone wearing green today, to be perfectly
Did you think? Those Irishmen, I'll tell you.
Not this green, not
I know.
I meant Laura, I meant.
She is Irish, isn't she?
No comment.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Laura, for that. There's a lot of really awesome stuff happening at your leadership and the leadership of everybody in our senior team. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to hear the great stuff that's happening.
So I'll flow right into this, and I'll be quick about it, because we'll just take maybe a negative and turn it into a positive. We put the wrong letter in the agenda. And this letter is the overall letter that came out from the ministry as far as the new curriculum and FSA. The important pieces that probably that are suggested in that letter are the time changes coming up for FSA, and that'll all come out as we move forward for next year. So this year, I did go prepare, and thank you, Dale, for going to get this for me. And I'll share it with you to peruse, a copy for yourselves. The board, as you may recall, gave staff a direction to work with FSA around how we work in schools and how we contact parents. This is basically the same letter as we sent out last year. The endorsement was made last year to do this, so we've just carried on. But certainly the board needs to let us know to follow through with this. So I've written this letter, we've written this letter as to go out in January. It's signed by, just in the draft form, but by no intent, this is still to be draft. And if you would just take a moment at your own leisure, go through it again, make sure it's what you intend, and without bringing any other information forward, we'll just move forward with it.
Okay, there was a question from Shannon.
Thank you, through the chair. I was wondering about that letter that was in the agenda, and I brought the copy from last year and was going to ask a question, was the board going to move forward with a similar letter? And so you answered my question. So will the decision be made by the business committee agenda, or is this?
As I said, unless the board chooses to change their decision and bring it back to us, we will follow through for this year. And then I would suggest that the board will then review it for next year, because circumstances have been shifted.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that the NDTA have a read over it, and if you have any suggestions or alterations, let us know.
It's the same as last year, so there's no need to change, to have a recommendation or a motion on this. We're going to make changes. And then I think next year we will need to revisit it, because the circumstances of the test have changed. They are still keeping the name FSA, despite a lot of lobbying to change that. But the test itself is going to look very different and will be given beginning of the year, and as well, the information that will be released with it will be much more holistic in terms of looking not just releasing the FSA results, but also the schools, the work that the schools are doing, and things like that. That's what holistic means is still being determined, but the feedback is being heard. So I think next year we'll have an opportunity to hopefully be more supportive of the type of assessment being done. So, any other questions on this issue? Everybody look at it, and if we need to make changes, we can do so at the board at the end of the month. No other questions on this? No? Okay, look at you guys. No unfinished business, no new business, any questions? No questions, all right.
Move adjourned.
Trustee Brzovic moves we adjourn, seconded by Trustee Ray. Okay, and we're out.